This news update is brought to you by...
From rom-coms to dramatic tearjerkers and hit action movies, video on demand from Flow's got what you need, baby. Spend some we time tonight. Oh yeah. Simply press the VOD button on your Flow remote. This is how we do TV. This is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today Evening Update for Tuesday, January 5. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Thanks for joining us. Unacceptable. That's how opposition MP for St. Thomas, Cynthia Ford, is describing the dumping of molasses in parts of her constituency, and she's appealing to truckers to stop the practice immediately. But not only that, she's also calling on officials in the Ministries of Health, Environment and Tourism to put measures in place to correct the situation as soon as possible. She made the plea following a tour of Mount Wilton and Clifton Hill in St. Thomas, where thousands of gallons of contaminated molasses were being dumped.
It is so unfortunate that the dumping is very close to Harrison's Cave. We all know of the porous limestone components in Barbados, in our water system, and indeed the cave that is our eighth beauty of the world. And for me, it will contaminate the stalagmites and the stalactites if this matter is not corrected. But as we stay here in the location, more than 12 hours since I've been here, there are still many trucks rolling in and disposing of the molasses, some of it 3 feet above the base of coconut trees and other trees in the area. I wish the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Environment, and the Ministry of Tourism, under which Harrison's Cave is under now, to make a quick effort to be able to stymie this process and bring word to the residents who are suffering.
An early general election. That's what outspoken businessman Robert Pitcher wants as a 50th anniversary of independence gift from Prime Minister Frondell Stewart. Pitcher painted the administration as an inept one, accusing it of mismanagement and overseeing badly run departments. He told Barbados Today an election would be nice for 2016 to allow Barbadians the opportunity to determine the direction the country should go. The owner of Fun and Son Publishing also complained about the rise in crime, as well as the sight of drug addicts begging on the city's streets, which he said was likely to hurt the important tourism industry. The lack of funding has forced the state-owned Urban Development Commission to scale down on its housing projects by about 25% in 2015. The disclosure from UDC Director Derek Allen, who tells Barbados Today money continued to be a major challenge last year and no large-scale housing projects were done.
Money has been tight last year, and what we had to do is engage a lot of sharing of projects, encourage the public to meet some of the costs and to reduce the amount of new houses that we built. So although our number of projects declined by about, I think, 24-25%.
However, Allen says this year should see improved fortunes for the Commission.
I anticipate that 2016 we will see an increase in activity, begin to feel we got a little bit more money coming on towards the end of the year, and I expect to get a bit more in the new year. So we'll start with stretch back our program, but to keep the emphasis on doing shared projects rather than we building all the units. So we will not be building many new houses again, but we'll continue to engage the public in project sharing.
The government is expected to rake in significant savings with the implementation of a new $2.4 million wide area network. The implementation of the Information Technology Communication Platform is being carried out by telecommunications company Digicel, and the deal was signed today. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Civil Service, Alison Fort, says the network has the ability to transform the public service.
The network is also expected to provide, among other things, high-speed interagency connections for greater communication and service delivery efficiencies, Internet gateway for government, which is secure and cost-effective, extensive utilization of IP telephony with resultant cost savings. In fact, this building has experienced 53% savings on its telecommunications bill alone, with the implementation of a new hosted VoIP phone system and dedicated internet access provided by Digicel. This is expected to be replicated across the public service.
Digicel has already employed 10 full-time staff for the implementation of phase 1 of the project, but General Manager of Digicel Business, Martin Kio, said that the number should move up to 20. He also pointed out that in the current economic climate, government will see more than cost savings.
It's exceeding, so the speeds that were sought by government were doubled by Digicel as part of our standard offering to future-proof the government's investment over the next number of years. We put in a high availability environment in terms of into the Baobab building as against a single cluster. Again, shown up in the 8 firewalls versus the 2 that would have been, I suppose, would have met the specifications. And we again added dual off-island connectivity in terms of protecting the international element of it as against a single. We have microwave backing up fibre, so we've made sure that we've removed where possible single points of failure.
Some of the field sports news now, and Sports Minister Stephen Lashley has congratulated surfer Chelsea Tuach. Eastern Surf named the 20-year-old Barbadian Surfer of the Year recently. Minister Lashley described the achievement as a phenomenal one for the surfer at such a young age.
This is yet another achievement for Chelsea. She continues to do exceedingly well. And for Eastern Surf to name her as the Surfer of the Year at 20 years old, I think is a phenomenal vote of confidence in Chelsea as a surfer. And of course, it brings pride to Barbados. The kind of exposure that Barbados will certainly get from this achievement cannot be paid for in dollars. It is the kind of connection that sports has in terms of its tremendous marketability, and certainly what I've been saying for quite a while, the importance of sports in generating that significant attraction and certainly value added for Barbados.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
We pick up with news from the Caribbean, where Haiti's elections chief says the presidential and legislative runoff will be impossible to hold in time for a democratic transfer of power by the constitutional deadline. The country's Provisional Electoral Council had warned that the runoff must be held by January 17 to fulfill the constitutional mandate of inaugurating a new president by February 7. But in a letter to outgoing President Michel Martelly on Monday, Council President Pierre-Louis Aupont said they would need more time, as the 12 days of preparation will not be sufficient to complete the process. On the international scene, President Barack Obama today unveiled a number of gun control measures. The emotional president outlined his plans for executive action, which focus on background checks, saying that the constant excuses for inaction have to stop. Most of the actions can be carried out without congressional approval.
All of us need to demand a Congress brave enough to stand up to the gun lobby's lies. All of us need to stand up and protect its citizens. All of us need to demand governors and legislators and businesses do their part to make our communities safer. We need the wide majority of responsible gun owners who grieve with us every time this happens and feel like your views are not being properly represented to join with us to demand something better. And we need voters who want safer gun laws and who are disappointed in leaders who stand in their way to remember come election time.
And that's our Barbados Today evening updates. But for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also, subscribe to our e-paper, our email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Frenella Wedderburn. Good evening.